بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Tonight is the 17th Rabiul Awwal 1439. We've reached chapter 41. Recognizing the grace of Allah, yet denying it is disbelief. Allah the Almighty said, يعرفون نعمة الله ثم ينكرونها وأكثرهم الكافرون. They recognize the grace of Allah, yet they deny it by worshipping others besides Allah. And most of them are disbelievers, deny the prophethood of Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Chapter 41, and the chapter, just like many previous chapters, started with the verse. And this is the verse in Surah Al-Nahl. And Surah Al-Nahl, also it is called Surah Al-Ni'am. That is the bounties, Surah of the bounties. It's called Ni'mah. The Ni'mah of Allah is mentioned more than 3 times. يعرفون نعمة الله ثم ينكرونها. This is the chapter title, that is the verse. They know, that is, they know by their senses that these are from the blessings of Allah, yet they deny it. وأكثرهم الكافرون. And most of them are to be from the disbelievers. This chapter is a great chapter because in recent times we find that we are in need of it. Because this ayah describes those kuffar. Describe them in Surah Al-Nahl, which we said is called Surah Al-Ni'am. That is, they acknowledge, in terms of acknowledging, they know that these favors that Allah has given them, or the hardship that Allah is pushing away from them, they know it's from Allah Azza wa Jal. Yet they do not acknowledge the favorism, they do not acknowledge the blessings. So they do not really say this is because of Allah's blessings upon us. So they attribute it to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's a chapter which is being made for the sake of those wordings which are from the minor shirk. And sometimes it will go to major shirk. But most of them are from the minor shirk, which is to attribute the blessings, the favors of Allah to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. Regardless of the favor, again Surah Al-Nahl, this is, whatever that Allah has given you from the blessings is only from Allah. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. Verse 53, Allah says in Surah Al-Nahl, that is all the blessings, regardless whether it's minor or major, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then He starts with the word يَعْرِفُونَ. The scholars, they said, the word ma'rifah, knowledge, is always mentioned in the Quran and almost in most of the Sunnah to be criticizing. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, الَّذِينَ آتَيْنَاهُمُ الْكِتَابِ يَعْرِفُونَهُ كَمَا يَعْرِفُونَ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ. Surah Al-Baqarah and also Surah Al-An'am. That is the one who have given them the book. They know for facts the ayah, the signs of Allah, just like they know their children. So it's like criticizing them. So if you know these signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like you know that these children are yours, yet you deny them. So the word ma'rifah or ya'rifun in the Quran all the time is been mentioned as to criticize. As for the Sunnah, is most of the Sunnah is, when it words ya'rif, it is actually also to criticize. Now, the chapter title in terms of relationship to the Tawheed is that he who attributes the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to other than Allah Azza wa Jal, then he made Allah has got a partner in His rububiyyah, because he had given the causa of the actions to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he who as well leaves the thanking of Allah Azza wa Jal, and he does not thank Allah for the favors, then he had made shirk in the uluhiyya. So we've got here two shirk, rububiyyah and uluhiyya, involved in this chapter, and that is why I said it's an important chapter. So it is incumbent upon the person that he should know all the blessings and all the pushing away of the harms, whether they're minor or major, they are from Allah. And the monotheism cannot be complete except by attributing the favors and the blessings to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as for the people, they are reasons for the blessings to come to you. So you could say, for example, it's because of my teacher, he had taught me very well, that's why I succeeded in the exam. But it never indicates, or should not be a proof, that that teacher of yours, he is the holder of that blessings. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the permission to be a teacher and to teach you. So the holder of the real blessing is Allah. And that person is a means. So through him you succeeded, but it's not him is the causer for succession. And that is the importance of this. The person should hook always his heart to the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when the Prophet ﷺ came back from the battle of Muraysiyah, and he camped with the army, and he went to a tree to shade himself, and he hooked his sword onto the tree, and the Bedouin, who was a kafir mushrik, he took his opportunity, took hold of that sword, and he put it on top of the head of the Prophet of Allah being asleep, the armies away from him, but they could see him. So he says to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet was walking up, are you scared of me? Who's going to protect you from me? Prophet of Allah, being his heart hooked to Allah, never said, and you could say in that moment, my friends will save me, my army will save me. Look, they're there, watch out, if anything happens to me, you're going to be dead. Never said that. He said, Allah will protect me from you. That means Allah is the one who's going to maybe send these people to protect me, send the companions to come in for the rescue. Allah Azza wa Jalla is going to cause for the fear to go into your heart, and it didn't happen, so that sword will be now onto you. So that as soon as it Allah 3 times, the sword fell in the hand of the Prophet of Allah. Prophet of Allah is on top of him now. So the person always hooks himself to Allah the Almighty. The one who holds the real benefit is Allah. The one who pushes away the evil is Allah. Yes, the people could do something, a favor to you, but the people, they're not the real holders of that favor. They're not the owners of that favor. That's what it means by this chapter title, and that's the link with Tawheed. And as I said, it's one of the great chapters. Coming now to the following. Now,
Mujahid has stated the sayings of a man.
Just that much. You're going to feed the people, so they're scared. No, more. Just a little much. Oh. That's it.
Mujahid has stated the sayings of a man as, the wealth is mine, I have inherited it from my elders.
Again, Mujahid.
Mujahid has stated the sayings of a man as, the wealth is mine, I have inherited it from my elders.
There's something there missing in the translation. Mujahid said what is meaning of, what the meaning of it. I mean, it's not word to word. And Imam Muhammad had actually quoted the words of Mujahid from his mind. He did not refer back to the text. So he said the statement of Mujahid, which is similar to the following, to some effect, but it's not word to word. And we're going to give you now word to word what Mujahid had said, because we've got the books in front of us. Mujahid, regarding this verse, Surah An-Nahl, verse 83, he had said, when the verse says Allah Azza wa Jalla, يَعْرِفُونَ نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ, they know the blessings of Allah. Then they deny it. Look at this combination between the two, the knowledge and denial. So he says, this is the kuffar of Quraysh. Allah is talking about the masakin, the dwellings, wal-an'am, the cattle, the animals, and whatever they've been provided by these animals, and also their clothes, whether it's for the army made of the metal or made from the clothes, from the cotton. He knows, they know that, the kuffar of Quraysh, then they deny it. Now they don't deny it as in they don't say there is no clothes, or there is no dwellings, or there is no cattle. No, they deny that these favors are from Allah. These blessings from Allah. They say, oh, these are belonging to our fathers and ancestors, and we have inherited them from them. Now, if somebody asks you, Where's this car from? Oh, I inherited it from my father. No problem about that. Because the reason for you to say that you inherited from the father, you got it from the father. But if the person, just like these kuffar, had their hearts fully detached from Allah the Almighty, they attribute all the favors to anybody except for Allah. So they say, this is belong to our fathers, these animals and these the rizq and all of that are to our fathers and we have inherited that. They never attribute anything to Allah. That is why one of the Ahnaf, not Hanafi, Ahnaf, that means the ones who are upon the straight line, the ones who is away tilted, Hanifa, tilted from the shirk. He says, and that is Amr ibn Nufayl, that is, look at these people of Quraysh. God created for them the sheep, and He also provided the sheep, and He gave the fodder for the sheep. And he had provided that with the sheep, yet when they slaughter it in another name of other than Allah, in the name of Allah, in the name of Al-Uzza. They slaughter it in the name of other than Allah, and they offer it to whom? To other than Allah. Both cases. So they give these slaughterings to the altars, to the idols, to the statues, and they slaughter in the name of Allah, even though that Allah had given them that sheep, Allah has given them that blessings, Allah had fed that sheep for them, yet they give it to other than Allah. So we find that Mujahid, he says that Allah is talking about those dwellings, those cattle, whatever they've been provided with, and from the clothes, whether they are the army clothes made from metal or the normal clothes made of cloth. They, Kuffar Quraysh, they know that, they deny it, and they say that we've inherited that from our parents. Mujahid is a great man. He is the student of Abdullah ibn Abbas. He had revised the Quran with Abdullah ibn Abbas word to word, a number of times, more than 20 times, the whole of Quran. And every single word, he stopped him and he asked Abdullah ibn Abbas, what is the meaning of, and the revelation for that, and the reason for that. So you can say that you take Mujahid, he is number one after Abdullah ibn Abbas. Because Abdullah ibn Abbas is number one in the interpretation. Because of the supplication of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa sallam. So now we know what is the meaning of Mujahid's saying. Now we go to Awn ibn Abdullah.
Awn bin Abdullah says, they say, if so and so would not have been, such and such would not have occurred.
Right. Awn ibn Abdullah ibn Uqba ibn Mas'ud al-Hudhali is Abu Abdullah al-Kufi. He's saying from his father, from Aisha, from the Abbas, and al-Bukhari, he said he had died after the year 120. Great man, he says that the meaning of this verse, that when they say, had it been for so and so, then nothing will happen. Nothing of that would happen. Now we said that if this person is saying it as to verify who had, for example, had it been for the cat, the dog would have been bitten. I've seen a video clip, how the cat saved what? The child from the dog. Have you seen it or not? Somebody give it to you, it was really good. Subhanallah. As a little child, been attacked by the dog, and there was CCTV cameras from the neighbors, and it wasn't on TV actually, it was on broadcasting, so they were bringing on the YouTube as well, broadcasting of that from a TV channel. I don't know what TV channel it is. They brought the father and the mother and the cat. This is the dog of the neighbors. And the dog of the neighbors, as soon as he saw the child, he had actually took advantage, was as a child, and he bitten him with his, as well, I don't know, with his canines or something else, but he had actually caused injury to him. Why he done that? Now the first thing that would save him is not the mother, it's the cat. So the cat ran just to the dog, and the dog, he doesn't know what he did, what had hit him. Bang, onto the dog, and the dog. And not only that, the cat chased the dog. It's not the dog chased the cat. The cat is chasing the dog to get him away, to show you. So the dog, basically, he doesn't know what hit him. And the cat saved the dog. the boy. And the cat is chasing up the dog. Subhanallah. To show you what the Prophet ﷺ, he said that the cats are good animals. They mingle with you. Domestic. Or the dogs. Prophet ﷺ said, if it hasn't been that the dogs are one of the nations, I would have commanded for them to be killed. Why? Because they scare the people. They terrorize the people. You go to the park in the morning, I do. You find lots of people with their machine guns. Really, they are machine guns. I'm talking about the dogs. Any moment that machine gun could go on top of it and bite me because they're not on the lead or their mouth open. One day I had my two little kids. One of the dogs, he barked so much that I could see the expression of my daughter. Really, she's like terrorized. And if you say something, you are terrorizing the dog. So they're caring about the dog feeding rather than the children feeding. So that's what the dog did. So when the dog comes, Wallah, I freeze. Don't know what's going to do to me. So seeing that clip, how the dog, how so vicious, the child was just playing. He went and really injured him badly. And the cat came to this. Now the TV program never mentioned about the viciousness of the dog. Nothing. It's to do with the cat being a hero. Imagine that was a person. Imagine it was a Muslim person had done that to the boy. What are they going to say about that Muslim person? Never said a word about the dog. Can't. All of them got dogs. I know the mother's feeling. She wants to put that dog down. Because she left it, then she wanted to make sure that the dog is away. This is the kidneys. You pay the price for what you're doing. You can't just say it's one off. No, it's lots of times. Dogs biting children, lots of times. Right. So we could say, had it been for the cat, the what? The boy would have what? Been bitten more. If I say this to the people and they understand that I'm not saying that the cat is got the power in herself, that the cat is actually a means by Allah of saving the kid, is no problem. And the Prophet of Allah, he said, had it been for me, my uncle would have been in the bottom of the hellfire. Had it been for what? For me. But who's given Allah's messenger the permission to intercede for his uncle? The Almighty. Who is being given the go ahead for this cat to go and save that boy from the dog? It's Allah. But these kuffar, when they say this, had it been for so and so, I would have been. Had it been for my father, he had bequeathed me this, I would have been poor. They mean the favors, all of it, to other than Allah. They don't attribute anything to Allah. Always. So when something happens to favors, they will say it's because of such and such, such and such. Had it been for the dog, we would have been robbed. And they mean the dog, he is like the cause. And that is why Prophet ﷺ, when he said to a man who came to him, so the messenger of Allah, why is it when we put the camel which has got scabies, in midst of camels which are healthy, that all of the camels get scabies? You know scabies is skin disease. Prophet of Allah said, La adwa, there's no contagious disease. The Arab is describing, no, we got this little hair, when it comes into when from that camel, it will transfer to the other camel. So the Prophet ﷺ, he says, okay, man a'da al-awwal, who had given the infection to the first one? Who's diseased the first one? First one, how you got diseased? Okay, we got the second one, third one, contagious. But what other one? Contagious from nowhere, from where? The first one. So when the Prophet said, La adwa wa la safar wa la ham, no contagious disease, no safar, no all these ideologies and beliefs of the kuffar that they think the month of safar will affect them, they think that the bird, which is the owl, will affect them, they think, for example, the contagious disease itself will affect them. He at the same time said, وَفِرُّوا مِنَ الْمَجْذُومِ فِرَارَكُمْ مِنَ الْأَسَدِ. Flee away from the leopard, the one's got leprosy, just like you've run away from the lion. So we understand how we've go away from the lion. We don't look back, run. That means the Prophet are attributing that there is what? Contagious disease. But he is negating what? The belief what the kuffar used to have, that this disease affects by itself. So when we say the Prophet of Allah, he said, لا يورد ممرض على مصح. Person should not bring his camels which are ill to put them amongst the camels which are healthy. Same thing with a human being. So why? Because it will be what? Affection. But the effect here by the permission of Allah. So when we go away from the reason that would cause the effect, we are saving ourselves from being ill, but we might get the illness. You know for a fact that let's say a person who's got contagious disease, two people will visit him, one will catch the disease and the other one will not catch it. And even though both the same, they stay the same distance and everything. One caught the disease and the other one did not catch the disease. Come on, Mr. Medicine, come on, Mr. Doctor, explain that for me. It's by the permission of Allah. That one caught the disease and that one. So we're not saying to you, go there to prove that point. Go to a diseased man who's got contagion to prove that point. But what we're saying here, that as a Muslim, we are supposed to go away from all those things that would put us in trouble. Okay? We don't put ourselves in trouble and say, tawakkul upon Allah. Let's go and visit the conditions and say, tawakkul upon Allah. That's not tawakkul upon Allah. That's cool stupidness, naivety. You cannot just go and throw yourself from the cliff and say, tawakkul upon Allah, Allah will save you. No. And the Prophet of Allah, he made this quarantine. If there's a plague, don't enter it. If there's a plague and you are in it, don't go out of it. Don't spread it. So this is what we are saying regarding this issue. That we say that if the person said, had it been that I have gone away from the contagious disease, it would have been struck me. And that's no problem to say it. But we believe that the causer is who? Allah. The one who makes the reason to have effect is Allah. But the reason to affect, or the cause to affect by itself, no way. So, now coming to the broadcast. We're going to have rain because we have low pressure. You know, low pressure. Well, saying this all the time, you're linking the people to that Allah is who? That Allah is who? The low pressure. Allah is the low pressure. Because He's the God. So the low pressure. We have low pressure, very likely we're going to have rain. Don't you know that sometimes you have high pressure and suddenly Allah changes to what? There's rain, true or not? So who is the one who's caused that rain? Your low pressure or Allah Azza wa Jal? Allah the Almighty Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. You know that now, if you want to go skiing, you should head to Saudi Arabia, not to Switzerland. A week ago, or 9 days ago exactly, snow in Saudi Arabia. Proper snow, whole desert. In the borders, in the Arab place, very big snow. SubhanAllah. Rain, the thickness of the rain and the water is covering the desert. It's amazing. It is implementing the hadith of the Prophet of Allah. The prediction of what's going to happen later on. سَتَعُودُ جَزِيرَةُ الْعَرَبِ. For the Prophet said, every year passes, the one after will be worse. But he said at the same time that the Arabian Peninsula, Saudi Arabia, will go back to Muruj wa Anhar, means gardens and rivers. When it's going to go back, I mean it was before. Looking at the scientists, when they talk about the history of this Arabian Peninsula, they say that lots of thousands and thousands of years ago, the Arabian Peninsula was a continent which is stuck to the North Pole. And it was not to the North Pole, it's not rain there, it's snow. And slowly, by the 10th of thousands of years, it dismantled and came away from the North Pole. And that is why we have the desert. But he said it's going to go back what? Murujan wa Anhar. And that is fulfilling the Prophet ﷺ's prophecy. Because he talks from Allah Azza wa Jal. Shaykh al-Albani in his time, and when he wrote his book, we're talking about more than 30 years ago, he said we could see the green goes into the mountains. No, not just green, everything, the rocks, mashallah. Sheikh Al-Albani didn't see the snow before he died in Saudi Arabia. The snow came after him. We have it now. The snow is, yes, last year snow, the year before snow, and every year is going more snow. Hailstone. You know what's the hailstone? You know the hail. And I call it stone because there's hailstone. Here is hail pebbles. Hailstone is like this, and I mean it. I've got it recorded like this. Goes on top of somebody's head, he will kill him. Like that. It's a small tennis ball. You know the tennis ball? Not the tennis ball which is the table tennis. No. The other one. Table tennis, no, it's much bigger than the table tennis. SubhanAllah. Amazing. Coming back. So when we find, for example, the person he sees in the Bible, the Prophet of Allah, when Aisha, she had lost the necklace she's been given to her by Asma, and the army has to look for it, and they had to delay themselves, and the water ran out. And then Allah sent the verses in Surah Al-Ma'idah regarding the tayammum. فَتَيَمَّمُوا صَعِيدًا طَيِّبًا. So some people came to Abu Bakr and they said, and Abu Bakr was really annoyed from his daughter. She had all the army because of her necklace, which has got expensive, to be waiting in the desert. So Allah made it now, because of that, it's to make tayammum, dry ablution without water. So they came to the مَا هَذِهِ بِأَوَّلِ بَرَكَتِكُمْ يَا آلَ أَبِي بَكْرٍ. It is not the first barakah we received through you, O Abu Bakr. So they said, Abu Bakr, barakah. So no problem. He said, because Abu Bakr is barakah. So had it been for the barakah of Abu Bakr, we would have had no tayammum. Abu Bakr, that means the family of Abu Bakr. Aish. Had it been for the revelation that came to the Prophet of Allah, we'd have been vulnerable for a very general punishment thrown up. Since the Prophet of Allah came, there is no famine that takes everybody, there's no drowning that takes everybody, but the Prophet Nuh, he took place, the Prophet Lut took place, the Prophet Suhaib took place, the Prophet Hud took place. All people will be killed. But now, since the Prophet came, his mercy to everybody. And his mercy to the kuffar is that they will not be killed, all of them. And we are going to be killed, all of us, through general famine, through general drowning. No. Because of the Prophet's revelation. So we say that when the person says, had it been for such and such, or so, this will not take place, we say that if that reason, or that thing that you're mentioning, there are three possibilities for that. Possibility number one, that this effect of that thing that you're mentioning is hidden, nobody knows it, and it has got no effect whatsoever. And that is, had it been for the wali, such and such would have been drowned. What that wali is going to do to you to protect you from the drowning. That's shirk akbar, major shirk. Had it been for Abdul Qadir, we would have been what? Killed. Abdul Qadir? He's dead already. How can he be saving you from the death? That's shirk akbar. Second one, which is that you are attributing it to a correct reason. Like when we said, this is because of the Prophet of Allah, that we had never had any problem with the general punishment. So if you mention, for example, had it been for I kept away from the contagious disease, I would have been struck with it, no problem. But you always have to have that is the creed and the aqeedah, the belief that Allah is the real causer. And you should not forget that Allah's favors upon you, that you had such and such, that had saved you from such and such. So it would be better, you should have said, had it been for Allah's favors upon us, that He sent us this low pressure that we got the rain. No problem. Allah is better. We know that the low pressure is one of the reasons to cause the rain, because the rain comes from the low pressure. But we say that we don't want people to start linking themselves all the time to the causes, not to the real causer, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third one is to attribute what you have said to something which is known, shown, but it is not having any effect. Like these people, when we said, had it been for no kada, no means star, it would never have been rain. What has got the star to do with the rain? It's not low pressure here. And that is when the Prophet of Allah hadith which we're going to talk about it, I think, Hadith Zayd ibn Khalid, that had it been for such and such star, we would have never been got the rain. Prophet of Allah, he said, Allah said, today, that's on the Salat al-Fajr, today, this morning, some of my people, slaves, have become believers in me. And some of them became disbelievers in me. The one who said, we have been given the rain by the mercy of Allah, by the blessings of Allah, they are believers in me, they are disbelievers in the star. And the ones who had said, we've been given the rain because of such and such star, and such star, they are disbelievers in me, believers in the stars. So he's attributing that to something which has got no effect. So for example, I know my arm is getting better because of that copper bracelet. You know? Copper bracelet? Doctors, you ask them, you say, what are you talking about? You're bluffing. Copper bracelet doesn't do anything. So you believe. Copper bracelet does not do anything to arthritis. Rubbish. So people got charms and they got all of that. That's shirk. And this shirk is most likely shirk asghar, which is minor shirk. طيب. Going back now, Ibn Qutaybah.
Ibn Qutaybah said, they say that these blessings are the results of their deity's intercession.
This is even worse. Ibn Qutaybah, his name and his kunya, Abu Muhammad, Abdullah ibn Muslim, Ibn Qutaybah. He is the one who had done a lot of books, mashallah. He was in Baghdad and he had heard the hadith from Ishaq ibn Rahaway, just before the Imam Ahmad. He had died in the year 276. Ibn Qutaybah says, rahimahullah, that they say, because the interpretation of this verse, they say, هذه أو هذا بشفاعتهم, that we got these blessings because of the intercession of our gods. They have done two shirk here. The shirk, which is that they are calling on their idols. Shirk, which is worshipping their idols. Second shirk, that they have attributed the blessings that they've got to something which cannot give them the blessings. How can these idols going to give you blessings? How is it going to give you the rain, give you the crops? No. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the crops. Only Allah azza wa jal. And that is why you might have rain and don't have crops. True or not? Prophet Allah said, the famine is not to have no rain. No, that's for you to say that. If you have no rain, it's famine. No. The famine is to have rain. And rain, yet the land does not produce anything. That's the famine. You got lots of rain, but no crops. Disaster. Abu al-Abbas, now.
After the hadith of Zayd bin Khalid, in
Abu al-Abbas, is it Abu al-Abbas?
Abu al-Abbas ibn Taymiyyah said, such commandments have occurred frequently in Quran and Sunnah. Allah condemns those who...
Doesn't say Abu al-Abbas ibn Taymiyyah had said after the hadith of Zayd ibn Khalid?
It put the hadith of Zayd first, and then it was mentioned.
So read from where you have left it on. After
the hadith of...
That's fine. You didn't read that. Why didn't you read that one?
After the hadith of Zayd bin Khalid, in chapter 30, in which Allah said, in this morning, some of my slaves remained as true believers, and some became disbelievers. Abu al-Abbas ibn Taymiyyah said, such commandments have occurred frequently in Quran and Sunnah. Allah condemns those who attribute His blessings and mercy to others whom they associate with Him. Some other scholars of early days cite its example as wind was blowing favorably and the sailor was wise and experienced, and likewise are the statements of most of the people.
Right, so Abu al-Abbas, Shaykh al-Islam, Ahmad ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, after the hadith that we have mentioned before, the hadith of Khalid ibn Zayd al-Juhani, which is the hadith of Zayd ibn Khalid al-Juhani, and which he says that the Prophet of Allah, after the Fajr prayer, had said after it was a rainy night, and you could see even the mud on his forehead of the Prophet of Allah, he said, Allah the Almighty had said, today some of my slaves became believers in me, disbelievers in the stars, and some disbelievers in me, believers in the stars. And then he mentions, then he says Ibn Taymiyyah, and that is too many of these examples in the book and the Sunnah where Allah criticizes any person who does attribute the blessings of His to other than Him, and he associates something with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, when the person does that, and that he says that is something belongs to other than Allah, or the attributes of the, or he does say, for example, the favors which he has been given, granted, is being attributed to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is from the ugliest thing, and it will cause the person goes into minor or major shirk. But he says that Salaf had said, it's just like when you say, the wind is good. Why? Because they're sailing in the sea. So when the wind is good, then you have the what do you call that? Sailing. So the sailing will be better because the wind is pushing in the right direction and pushing with a good pace. And also they say, oh, the person who's the captain is a person who is experienced. That's why we are finding ourselves better off. Okay, you could say that. So tell say that, but as long as you have the creed that Allah caused that wind to happen, and Allah made that experienced pilot to be successful. Because you could have successful pilot, he end up drowning. You could have good wind and ends up to drown you and make your ship go the other way around. So it is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is no problem to say it, but we need to make sure that the people know and understand that the real causa is Allah, and nothing will take place except with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's go to the issues.
Important issues of the chapter. Number 1, recognition of the blessings and description of their denial.
And we explained that. Number 2,
all types of denials are known to the most of the people. All types of denials are known to the most of the people.
Translation, I can't read it. That we should to know the fact that this is going on the tongue of lots of people. Is it not different, isn't it? Different. Totally different. So the second one, the fact that this is common thing taking place on the tongue of the people. That's a translation. Number 3, just like what we said about the wind and about the captain of the ship. Now,
3.
Huh? No, in your book, but his book is different. They quote him from a different book. So the translation in your book is correct, and the translation in his book is wrong. Dar es Salaam, isn't it?
Yeah. Huh? He's got the newer version, maybe they fixed it.
Yeah. Now,
number 3, naming such statements as the denial of the blessings.
Is that the name of your book? Yeah. Right.
Number 4, combination of two opposites in the heart.
What is that two opposite? That they know and they say the same thing, they deny it. They deny it out of arrogance. Right. This is the chapter now. If you have any question before we go to the following chapter? No question. Go ahead. Fadl.
Regarding what you said, as long as you believe it, say to people, we have to clarify to them.
Now, if I say to the people, I would say always attribute to Allah. Alhamdulillah. So you say, for example, the clouds brought the rain, but Alhamdulillah, we're having the rain. Alhamdulillah. I have noticed something, that the people who are monotheistic, brought up on monotheism, their scholars always talk about Tawheed. Everything that takes place from the ni'mah, the first word comes from the tongue, MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. But when it comes to the people of ignorance, people of bid'ah, people of Sufism, when there's a blessing come to their place or to themselves, they only mention their wali or the name of their mushrik, qubur. Nothing to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or they would attribute it to it looks like because of we are in the winter season, that's why we have a lot of rain. You should say Alhamdulillah, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, when you see something like this. Not to say we're bound to have it because it's winter season, we should have it. Maybe we should have it. What are you going to make it come upon Allah to give it to you? We should have it. It's time for it. That's what they say. No, ya akhi. Even it's time for it, you're not going to have it. You're going to be deprived from it. So you should say, MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. So I have noticed that every video clip has been sent to me from the Arabian Peninsula by normal people. Everything is word, MashaAllah, Tabarak, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, MashaAllah, Tabarak, Alhamdulillah. Other people, they send me something from not Saudi Arabia, they say, wow. Wow. That's the word of takbir. Wow. Ooh, too much. Look at that. Nothing to do with Allah. Wallahi, nothing to do. Because these people, they're all 24 hours. I'm not talking about the bearded people, no, normal people. 24 hours. قال الله, قال رسول, قال الله, قال رسول. This is shirk, this is Tawheed, this is shirk, this is Tawheed. Mu'tazila, Jahmiya, they're always, even the old people, the laymen, from the words that have been mentioned in front of him, I know a layman, through a friend of mine, this layman is an old man. You ask him about the Sha'ira, he'll give you everything. Sha'ira, oh, the Rafida, Sha'ira, Jahmiya, they are from the, we call them, in Arabic, al-Mu'attila, the negators. How do you know that? He's a layman. He said, Mu'attila, هذا Mu'attila. Because he keeps hearing the masjid, Mu'attila, 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 Mu'attila. Where the Sufi says, Allah, Allah. That's all he knows, Allah, Allah. And then what? Allah what? Nothing, he doesn't know anything. Except for, I get really pumped up when I say the word. Well, if you say monkey, monkey, dog, dog, you're going to go to all the crazies all the same thing. You're going to get the same feeling. Wait. I'm not saying the word Allah is like the donkey, the monkey. No, I'm not saying. But the way you're saying it is like a monkey. So the people of Tawheed always behave rightly. They got common sense. The people got no Tawheed. You'll see an old man. I've seen him dancing and jumping. An old man. I mean, what type of person is he? I think he needs to go to the hospital. See, psychologists. How can you jump up and down and dance? Dance, kneel dance. And he's an old man, real old man. I mean, how does he behave like this? The only explanation is that they got no Tawheed. Tawheed gives you common sense. You think properly. You think like a person, a human being. If you don't have the Tawheed, a'udhu billah. And that is why when the person has no tawakkul upon Allah, when the person get bad news and he's scared, something happened to him, if he's got no Tawheed, he will act like an animal, drawn up. If he heard something like bad news, the death of his son or his family, what does he do? He's like an animal. No Tawheed, no heart, nothing. Not to say, Alhamdulillah, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. But the other person got no Tawheed, he strike his cheeks, pull his head, might commit suicide because got no Tawheed. But the Tawheed will settle you down because you know this is Qadar Allah. It's been written 50,000 years before all creation was created. 50,000 years already it's been written. So why should I moan about it? This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, I'll cry. Yes, I'll be affected, but I will not act outside the boundaries. I'll be a human being. And these people, they act like animals. Act like animals. Somebody dies, they go and bury him and they have a drink. Have a drink. Imagine that person that he died, that Allah giving him life, and he comes to you and he sees you in the pub celebrating his death or trying to forget his death, whatever. Is he going to be happy? That's not common sense. Because you're not monotheistic. Once you're not monotheistic, you're going to act not in a human way. So, you should be glad, should be, I would say, knowing the favor that Allah has given you, that you are from Ahl Tawheed, the one they call it Wahhabism. Wahhabism. Well, ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب. Allah says, and the Wahhab, not Wahhabi, Wahhab. Some people say attributing Wahhabis to Allah. Yes, I'm a Wahhabi to Allah. But as Muhammad Wahhab, this is what he teaches us. That's what he's teaching us. Teaching us Tawheed. Pure Tawheed, monotheism. And when you have this, it'll be clear. You have nothing. Because the Tawheed is the only liquid that would liquidate all types of sins. This type of liquid is like acid. Comes to the mountain of sins, it dissolves it. Subhanallah. Tawheed. La ilaha illallah. The kalima. Prophet ﷺ. Hadith Itban. Radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet ﷺ, man qala la ilaha illallah. حرم الله عليه النار. من قال لا إله إلا الله يبتغي بها وجه الله. He says La ilallah intending who? The pleasure of Allah. Allah will make fire upon him haram. And here haram prohibited, either prohibition from the beginning, that means prohibited to enter it whatsoever. Or if you enter it to be punished for smaller sins, after that you are prohibited to come into it again. Khalas. La ilaha illallah. Seeking the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. Ikhlas, akhi. That's the most hardest thing that you want to get rid of. So let's go to the chapter 42, please.
Chapter number 42. Do not set up rivals unto Allah. Allah the Almighty said, فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Do not set up rivals, al-andad, unto Allah in worship, while you know that He alone has the right to be worshipped.
This is a chapter again started with a verse. Just like the previous chapters, so many of them have started with a verse. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. Do not make to Allah andad. Here, if you interpret it word to word, you say andad means don't make to Allah rivals, equals, partners. But the meaning of it is don't make shirk. That's what it means. Don't make shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you say La ilaha illallah, then you know it. You have to single Allah in His worship. So he who had the knowledge to know that Allah is the Lord, Allah is the provider, Allah is the one who gives life and takes away the life, gives the death. Allah is the one who is the owner of everything, then shouldn't you worship Him alone? How can you worship something with Him that is being created? Just like the kuffar who are naive, they would say, لَبَّيْكَ لَا شَرِيكَ لَكَ لَبَّيْكَ. This is the sayings and the sentence that you say when you are making Hajj or Umrah. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك. They say لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إلا شريكا ملكته وما ملك. Except for a partner that you own him and whatever he possesses. How can he be a partner if he's been the owner of Allah? Except for a partner that لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك. Oh Allah, I am to your command, at your service. There's no partner for you except for a partner that you own that partner and whatever it possesses. How can this, which is owned by Allah and everything with Him is owned by Allah, yet is going to be a partner of Allah? What a naive thinking. How can it be? So this ayah basically talks about those people who make shirk with Allah, and it's linked straight away to the chapter before it. Strong link. So when you say, had it been for so and so, and you don't attribute the blessings to Allah, you are making sharik with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fadlan, Ibn Abbas.
With reference to the above quoted verse, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma said, Al-andad means shirk. It is as inconspicuous as a black ant moving, crawling on a black stone in the darkness of night. It is to swear by Allah and by your life.
It is to say, for example, it says, by Allah and by your life. God.
And by my life. It is also to say, had there not been this little dog or the duck in the house, the thief would have entered. Or like the statement of a man to his companion, by Allah's and yours will. Or had it not been Allah and so, etc. Do not mention anybody with Allah, because all of it is shirk. It has been reported by Ibn Abi Hatim.
Can you just please repeat again? That is to say, by Allah and by the life of so and so should be. By Allah and the life of so and so and by my life. Yes? Yes, that's the translation correct. And had it been for the dog, what did it say?
Dog and or the duck in the house.
Had it been for the dog, the thieves would come. And had it been for the ducks in the house, the thieves would come. Yes? Okay. Correct. Right. This is the interpretation of Ibn Abbas of this ayah, saying that the andad is the shirk, which we explained, the shirk. And the shirk, he says, subhanallah, this is really amazing and scary. Shirk is more hidden, more inconspicuous, he says, than the sound of an ant going on top of a very smooth rock, and it's black rock in a pitch dark night. So you've got 4 things which are impossible to spot. Number 1, it's a very small ant. And the ant, most likely they are black. And the ant, regardless of where it walks, is going to be hard to hear. But when it walks into smooth rock, that means it's even more hidden than it walks into, for example, let's say, on a paper leaf or something that makes a noise. But this one is smooth rock. And the smooth rock is not just a smooth rock, it's black. Because to match the darkness of the night. Pitch dark night, no moon, moonless night. With this dark rock and smooth. And it's an ant, and it's a black ant. And the crawling of it. Can you be able to hear it? You need a special machine for that. Same thing here. The Prophet, the Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said about the shirk. Shirk is really hidden as much as that. And then he says, that's how hidden it is. A person says, by my life, wallahu hayatak. Wallahi, the Arab, they say this so many times. And this is minor shirk, but if they meant by the life of so and so and by my life is to be equal or greater than the life of Allah, he's a kafir. He's a mushrik akbar. But he says this as a running on the tongue. Running on the tongue. Some people say, will Kaaba, by the cube. And that's shirk as well. By the Kaaba. If you say by the Mus'haf or by the Quran, the Mus'haf is the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what is by the Kaaba? Of course, there's a difference among scholars regarding what the Mus'haf. Because the Mus'haf is it means the Quran, you mean by this? Or the Mus'haf means the papers? If you mean the papers, shirk. If you mean the Quran, still the same. Because the Quran is one of the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So, these things, when they say, had it been for the dog, we would have had thieves. What about the duck? The duck, what are they going to do? The duck makes sound when the thieves come. Okay? So when they make the sound, so the people will wake up, and that's why the thief will run away. It's like an alarm, basically. The duck is an alarm. And the people, they said it like this. Like for example, yesterday, I was saved by my alarm. My car had given the alarm, and my car was not stolen. To say that, to acknowledge that the alarm took place, and that is why the thief did not steal it, to say it as a news, no problem. But if you say it and the people, they believe, you're attributing this to other than Allah, it's no good. So run on your tongue the following. Alhamdulillah. My alarm yesterday saved me. You said Alhamdulillah. Bifadlillah. By Allah's blessings. The alarm sounded yesterday. It's good, yeah. Run that on your tongue. Always attributing Alhamdulillah, 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 Fadlillah, Fadlillah. Don't attribute things to the things which are true causes. Yes, they're true causes, but they will not cause unless they have the permission by the Almighty. He is the real causer. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب. He says as well, and the person says, Ma sha'Allah wa shirk. That's shirk as well. Regardless of the way that you say it, regardless of what is your intention, that's shirk, because you were added to Allah with the word wa. Wa means and. Had ma sha'Allah wa shi't. Or lawla Allah wa fulan. Had it been for Allah and so and so. If he said that's shirk. Shirk asghar, of course. Shirk akbar, if he meant so and so, okay, is equal to Allah. So if you see people say, lawla Allah wal kalb kan sa'at al-ghanam. In Arabic say, had it been for Allah and the dog, that our sheep would have been stolen. What does it mean by that? That Allah is the one who had protected us, but the dog also is the one who had attacked the what? The thief. But saying that is ugly and it's shirk. Because you have put Allah with the dog. Not to do as in humiliation, no, to do with that they are the ones together to help for that thief to run away. No. You can say, لولا الله ثم الكلب. Had it been for Allah, and then had it been for the dog. So that means the dog comes second. Allah had imposed that dog to go and run after the thief. No problem. Had it been for Allah, then so and so. So he said, لولا الله وفلان is shirk. So don't make fulan into it. Because all of it shirk. The Prophet ﷺ had heard a man saying, Ma sha'Allah wa shi'ta ya Rasulullah. Now the companion, when he said that to the Prophet, Ma sha'Allah wa shi'ta, does he mean that the Prophet Prophet is equal to Allah. Wallahi, he doesn't mean that. And I'm saying that, and I know what I'm saying. Because this companion, he's been brought up in the madrasa of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's been brought up on Tawheed and monotheism. No way he would make shirk with the Prophet. He's already lifted shirk. But he had said a tongue. And the Prophet of Allah never questioned what is in his heart. Straight away he said, أَجَعَلْتَنِي لِلَّهِ نِدًّا, which is the ayah. Are you making me equal to Allah, a rival to Allah? You're making shirk? قُلْ مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ وَحْدًا. Say, مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ on his own. But the companion doesn't mean to make the Prophet. And the Prophet, when he said that, he never asked him, what did he mean by that? He had actually held him on account of what he said, not what he believes. So if somebody corrects you on something that you have said, don't say, Wallahi, I don't mean it. Whether you don't mean it or not, that's between you and your Lord, your heart. But I'm now holding you account for what you say. What is your appearance? What's your outward? I'm not going to be judging what's in your inward. So when he says something wrong, take it on board and implement it and say, Jazakallahu khair. So the Prophet of Allah never had this companion encountering saying that Messenger of Allah didn't mean to make you equal to Allah. No, because he took it on board and he learned. He will never say, Ma sha Allah wa shi't. A man said, وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ. He who obeys Allah and obeys his messenger, وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, well, then he is gonna be successful. وَمَن يَعْصِهِمَا, and he who does disobey them, فَقَدْ ضَلَّ وَغَوَى, he will be misguided, misled. The statement is correct. But Prophet of Allah said, no, say وَمَن يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. Just like we say, مَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, say وَمَن يَعْصِ اللَّهَ. Don't make me وَمَن يَعْصِهِمَا. We put them in one pronoun and make them together. Because it gives a hint to the people that I am with Allah. So when you put these words, Allah, Muhammad, look at these people, say Allah and Muhammad. To start with, decorating the walls with Allah and Muhammad is not right. Start with. Some people, they put Allah and underneath them Muhammad. You understand? Just like 1 foot down or whatever. Okay? That shows that Allah is. And some will put Allah in parallel to Muhammad. That's the brilliance, isn't it? You say, Ya Allah, Ya Muhammad. That's the title of each masjid they've got. Ya Allah, Ya Muhammad. Definitely all of that shirk. And Allah, Muhammad is not right. Even if you put Allah there and Muhammad, because any person who doesn't know, he is thinking that Muhammad, okay, is part from Allah, or he is Allah, or he's got power equal to Allah. So why do you put Muhammad? You just put all the prophets in. From Adam until Muhammad. Put all of them. So why do you put Muhammad? For the person who doesn't know, person is not a Muslim, look at these people are Muhammad worshippers. Muhammadism. We don't have that. Muhammad. We are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The decoration in Mecca, in the Kaaba, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we say it is not from Islam. It's not from the deen. But have you noticed there's no Muhammad? It's always what? Allah. You notice that? All the words is Allah, 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 Allah. There's no Allah, Muhammad, Allah, Muhammad. It's all of it Allah. But even that decoration is wrong. We're not here to decorate walls. And unfortunately the Prophet of Allah said, إِذَا زَوَّقْتُمْ مَصَاحِبَكُمْ وَزَخْرَفْتُمْ مَسَاجِدَكُمْ فَدَمَرَ عَلَيْكُمْ. If you start to decorate your Quran, how do you decorate Quran? You make it red colors, Allah, Muhammad, and Rabb, and Rad. Not the colors for tajweed, that's no problem. And also gold here, gold in there, and all of that. And if you start to decorate your masjid, then wait for destruction. So we are waiting for destruction. But damaru alaykum, you're going to have destruction. Because you start to do your Quran with this gold and this decoration and all of that. And now these days, Allahul Musta'an, they are burying themselves onto the Quran. I don't know if you've seen that person who's making the Quran being sung into like an orchestra. Have you ever seen that? Yeah, somebody's seen it. Orchestrated. So Inna Allah Alim Khabir is making like opera. You know the opera? So this person, he is saying like an opera. And the one who repeated with him, naked women. So this is astaghfirullah. What about if a person who's got Muslim lady, Muslim girl, dressed up with hijab, proper hijab, and now she's making the Quran with a sing, with a song, and singing a song with a man. And the man is telling him, Ar-Rahman, just Allama al-Quran. Another one said, what is this? And she's the daughter of Sheikh and Sheikh so and so, who was from the big reciters at his time. And then she's going from one place to another. What is this? And he's giving her the tone and the melody, and then she, Allah al-Musta'an. That's even worse. I mean, all of the people, they're far away from the deen, but this one is like person's deen, but that's what he's doing. And the Prophet of Allah, he said, there will be people coming, reciting the Quran, natural. It's like a musical. Prophet said, it's going to be mazamir, just flutes. And the Prophet of Allah is telling us, and it's happening. And he said, youth, shabab, youth, they will do that. Start making musical flutes, and it's not the Quran that we want. So the people are affected now, and the program, the person who's presenting these two to recite, the old man with this young girl. And every time he hears the Quran, he starts jumping up and Allah. And he wants to pull his hair. He said, Allah musta'an. That's the Tawheed, akhi. No Tawheed, crazy people. Crazy people. Tawheed, alhamdulillah. Crazy. This brother, he wants to kill himself because of the melody. It's not because of the Quran. It's not because of the meaning of the ayat. It's because of the melody is affecting him. Allah musta'an. طيب, we stop here. And we continue, inshaAllah, in 2 weeks' time. Close that because longer than 2 weeks, yeah, or 1 week? In 12 weeks' time. I went to gear with 2 weeks now. طيب, you have any questions? Further.
Earlier you said 50 years. Is that random?
What's 50 years? 50,000 years? Yes, that's not random, no, real number. 50,000 years before he created the heavens and earth. He had made everything to be said. He had said that you're going to be asking me this question. It's in the preserved tablet. Got it? Wait.
In regards to how it sounds like I've got a 2-year-old, so I thought that out. It sounds like
no problem. To teach the children the alphabet or something with a melody. No problem. No problem. But the melody has to be another melody of a song which is done by these A'udhu Billah, shayateen.
It's not a song.
Yeah. No problem. I mean, I learned, for example, months into the way which is like a melody. No problem. It helps you sometimes. Like the month of Sha'ban, Ramadan, Shawwal, there is the melody. No problem. It's not.
Question regarding predestination. Allah has written down everything has Allah written down do everything because Allah has written down, or Allah has written down because Allah knows what we can do?
You don't understand. Allah is written down what?
Allah has written down everything.
Yes.
Everything we do.
Yes.
So has Allah written it down, that's why we do it, or has Allah written it down?
So you're asking, are you compelled? You're not compelled.
Or Allah,
You're asking this question, are you compelled to do what you've been doing, or you're giving the free choice? Is that your question?
yeah.
Okay. Who had compelled you now to ask me the question? Has anybody pushed you? Okay. So you asked me this question with your free will, isn't it? But Allah knows that you're going to ask me this question. This is a secret from the secrets of Allah Azza wa Jal. So al-qadar sir. Secret. How can Allah know what I'm going to say and I got my free will? It's a secret. How? But I know, I can prove it. I am going to take the glass. Look, nobody pushed me. But what happened here? Allah has given me 2 things. The mind to put the thought of raising up the glass, and the power to lift up the glass. So you could displug or uproot one of the 2. I want to have the thought to lift up the glass. I want to put my hand, Allah, pluck the power. I can't. So when the Prophet ﷺ saw a man eating with his left, he said, eat with your right. So he said, out of arrogance, I can't. So he said to him, may Allah make you can't. As soon as he said that, he wanted to lift up his left. He couldn't. He put his evil thought to put the left again to eat, but Allah, no power. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, may Allah make you unable. He couldn't lift it. So, you have got free will. But your free will, regardless of what you do, it has to be according to the knowledge of Allah. I mean, does it work with your mind that you're going to surprise Allah? I'm going to surprise Allah. He doesn't know I'm going to do it. Does it work? It's only a stupid person who think like this. Allah didn't know I'm going to do this. That means not Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, outside all of that, is created. Outside the time, outside the space, outside the place. Space and place and time is creation of Allah. So if time is creation of Allah, you could really know Allah got no beginning, no end. Why the beginning and the end? Because it's time. Time got beginning and end. It's true. You have to have beginning and have time. So that Allah was, and there's nothing there. There's no time, no place, no space. It's only Allah. So that means Allah is the beginning. Has no beginning. Allah has no end. We don't know because when it has a beginning, that means it's got time. So if Allah Azza wa Jalla made all of that, so I submit. So I could prove to you that Allah has to know. Other people doesn't know. You've got a will, but who's powerful? The will of yours or the will of Allah? The will of Allah. Because you cannot lift up the glass unless Allah will for you to lift up the glass. And already Allah knows what you're going to do. But Allah created you, and this is really easy to know. If Allah created you, He knows what you're going to do. He's giving you the free will, but He knows what you're going to do. Isn't it true that after teaching you all these number of years, I know which one is going to be more knowledgeable than the other? I'm a human being. I've been teaching you for a long, long time. I know some of you are got an edge on the other. And I'm a creature. But because of my experience now, I knew. Do you understand? So I know now when Uncle came from that room, he's going to ask me now a question. Or two, or don't know. So when I said, Uncle, come on, what's your question? Nobody will say, oh, do you know the ghaib? How did you know? Said, well, because I know that Uncle, most of the time, has a question or two. Because I know, do you understand? So my preceding knowledge did not push the uncle to push the door and come and you ask the question. No. It's because I know, because of my experience. How about Allah, the creator who created me, doesn't know? So everything, Allah's got the knowledge, and that knowledge He had put it into the writing. So the first was the knowledge. Before the writing was what? Knowledge. Allah knows what's going to happen. And that knowledge He willed for it to be written. To be written. That writing of Allah. So He didn't write it because He wanted to remember it. He had written it. For a number of reasons. Allah. So first thing He had commanded to be created, the pen. Pen is a pen. What else? What pen? Pencil, pen. To write everything on that preserved tablet. So you know what's the preserved tablet going to be huge. Okay. I cannot imagine it. So it's going to be writing everything. Every person will do that pen. Write everything from the beginning to the end. Khalas. And the writing will stop on the day of resurrection. Khalas. After that. So the writing is for the dunya. For everybody. So I should really submit to that and relax, alhamdulillah. I know Allah knows I'm going to be in the hellfire, or in paradise, inshallah. I know Allah knows. But I got my free will to choose haqq or batil, kufr or Islam, iman or nifaq. Allah's giving me that power. And Allah only guides the one who's got the good heart. Allah will facilitate for you. If you haven't got something wrong there, Allah will expose it. Fix the heart. Now.
If I just conclude this, so unless whatever we do, it's not that Allah's written it down, but Allah's written it down, Allah knows what we're going to do. Is that correct understanding?
Okay. Because putting it as a philosophy, I have to be careful.
So Allah's written it down. Allah's written what was going to happen.
Allah commanded the pen to write it down. Yes.
What we're going to do.
Yes, we're going to do.
So when we do something, it's not because Allah has written it.
But again, wait, this philosophy. I ask you, does it mean what you're saying? Are you compelled or not compelled? Because you're saying, that means we're doing it because Allah had written it. That means you're compelled. You know, that's why you're asking questions. Why you put yourself into this quagmire?
So that's what I'm saying. So
Don't put yourself into this quagmire. Are you free will or compelled? That's the question. So when you say that I am going to be doing it because it's been written, that means I have no choice. Is that what you're saying? You see, that's what you're saying. So get out of that. Get out of that. You have your free will, want you or not. Yes, you have free will now to choose and to leave this class. You have free will. Nobody's going to stop you. Yes, I might call the police and stop you. No. Maybe able to do that. But even the police are like, I don't want, okay, I'll listen to you this time, I'm not going to come to you. You got your free will. Okay, the police came and put me there, okay, I'm going to put my hands into me. I will not allow you even to put your hands in the air, your hands into the air because the police are going to shoot you. Okay, well, I will pretend I'm listening to you, but I'm not listening to you. You got your free will. Nobody is forcing you. But whatever you do is with the knowledge of Allah. Now,
pensions where you have the option of opting out.
pension, opting out, you have to opt out. Question.
Sorry, two questions. I think partly the first one was answered by just wanting for clarity. In growing up here, there's a lot of phrases that are just common in the...
Like what?
Such as saying, I was a little bit lucky.
No, bit lucky is not right, allowed. Bit lucky. Because lucky is that. Bit fortunate would be better.
Or coincidence.
But being told fortunate is different from lucky. Anything to do luck is not everything with the coincidence of Allah.
So we should avoid...
Yes. Second question?
The second question was, sometimes someone does something for us a favour. When we thank that person, should we first separately thank Allah first?
When you thank that people, you're thanking Allah. Because the Prophet of Allah, he said, no one would thank Allah if he does not thank the people. You're not going to thank Allah if you don't thank the people. So you have to thank the person. So you say, Jazakallahu khairan. That's thanking. So you're asking Allah to reward him.
I've heard some children say certain words, like all my days. I've had the same word.
Oh, my days is not an oath, is it? Okay. Oh, my days. So what do they mean by that? Ya hasra ala al-ayyam. Was it Arab? I wouldn't really swap oh my God to all my days, but if I go, Ya hasra al-ayyam, I regret the days that have been past. Like Abdullah ibn Umar, he said, لَقَدْ فَرَّطْنَا فِي قَرَيْطَ كَثِيرًا. We have missed lots of qararit. When he heard Abu Hurairah saying that the Prophet of Allah said, he who does follow the janazah from the house until he's been prayed upon, until after that he follows it until he's been buried, and he will have the mountain of Uhud. So we have 2 qirat, and each qirat equivalent to the mountain of Uhud. He said, Wallahi, we have, regretting all these days, all my days. Okay? That's what it means. If he said, all my days to swap, oh Allah, no. Oh God. I would say, oh Allah. But I will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because God, I don't know what God, if they believe in this person who's saying it. Now, akhi, always, ya akhi, get your tongue better to say, Allah Akbar, subhanallah. Subhanallah, la ilaha illallah. So something means subhanallah. Or you're annoyed, subhanallah. So you could use it the way that you're saying it. It means subhanallah as an amazed, subhanallah you're annoyed, subhanallah you're astonished. You'll feel alhamdulillah. Why am I oh dear and oh God and what is it? Oh my days and get rid of it. Keep your brainwash yourself bit by bit. Now.
Do you have the right understanding of the names and attributes of Allah to be able to answer the first question of the grave?
First question of the grave. Do I need to understand the attributes of Allah? There's 2 levels of understanding: the student of knowledge and the normal layman. The layman will get the same, will present the same answer as this knowledgeable person. So, who's your Lord? Say Allah. So you are now knowing that Allah is your Lord. Don't you want to know what His attributes? I mean that's a person who's not taking his Lord Allah. Uncle, prove me right that you're going to ask a question.
I would like to ask Allah's help and your help to understand
No problem.
two questions. I have an issue with the hadith you said about the black ant on a dark night walking on a smooth black stone. Can you explain it to me by giving me a couple of examples, please?
About the shirk. This is, by the way, it's not a hadith, uncle. This is a saying from Abdullah ibn Abbas. The hadith of the Prophet of Allah, he said, "Ash-shirku fikum khafi." Shirk is hidden. So Abu Bakr, he said, Messenger of Allah, isn't it shirk to worship other than Allah? I mean to worship the idols. That's the shirk. He said, no, Abu Bakr, you're wrong. For verily the shirk is in you hidden. Shall I tell you something? If you say it, it will take away the minor and the major shirk. Yes, Messenger of Allah. He said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika an ushrika bika wa ana a'lam wa astaghfiruka lima la a'lam. O Lord, I seek refuge in you. I ask you to grant me that is not to make shirk with you while I know. So if I know this is shirk, I should not make shirk. So make me to avoid to make shirk with you while I know. And I seek your forgiveness for something that I commit in shirk and I don't know if it's shirk or not. So some people, they make shirk, they don't know it's shirk. So I seek your forgiveness, O Lord, for that. So this will take away the minor and the major shirk from you. Now, this is the shirk khafi. It means like we have lots of things which are khafi. And Abdullah ibn Abbas, khafi means hidden. Abdullah ibn Abbas describes the hidden of this is that more hidden than the black ant crawling onto a black smooth rock in a dark night, pitch dark night. It's more hidden than that. That means the scholars, they said the very hardest thing for the person to treat into himself is ikhlas, sincerity. So am I giving the class now with ikhlas or not? Are you listening, coming here with ikhlas or not? Are you doing your ibadah with ikhlas or not? Only Allah knows, because of the heart. So there are things to do with the dunya, with the fame, with the money, with lots of things. They barge into it. So you have to get rid of all of that and to say that I'm doing it for the sake of Allah. Fix myself for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's what it means, Uncle. Jazakallahu khairan. Yeah, no problem. Because you are proving me right. See, 2 questions. Peace TV, not music TV. Music TV is, I call it Islam channel, music channel. It's not Islam channel anymore. There's lots of music on that channel, God knows. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is to be turned into a melody. Yes, song. So the people start now, when they want to say it, they won't really say it because they love the Prophet, because they love the melody of saying it. Do you understand me, Uncle? So it's not right. It's not right. So the people these days, they make the melody of the Quran also, not because they want to listen to the Quran in beauty, but the melody itself. Some of the melody is to match even known songs for us. Songs which have been sung by a woman, they make it exactly the same melody. So the people, when they are affected, they're affected not by the Quran, but by the melody. You must have seen in Pakistan, or especially in Egypt, this Qari, when he comes and he reads and he shakes his head from one side to the other. He takes a deep breath and he gives you this melody that takes about almost a minute, non-stop. Then after that, people shout their head off, Allah, 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 Allah. There's no much Allah, 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 Allah. And then they go to come and kiss one of them, kiss him, and they go, yes, haram alik. Fear Allah, almost our heart had been dying for the recitation. Not for the recitation, because of the melody, Uncle. And most of them are drunk, or in shisha, hashisha. And this person who's reading the Quran, not even got a single hair into his face. Ahlas amlas, no beard, nothing. Makeup like a woman. So what is the deen here? So Anas, when he said, رُبَّ تَالٍ لِلْقُرْآنِ يَلْعَنُ, you'll find a person who's reciting the Quran and the Quran is cursing him. Wallahi, I can't see more than these people. To apply this saying of Anas upon these people. The Quran is cursing him. So you're reciting and the Quran is saying, Allah curse you. Because you're not reciting it for the sake of Allah. You're not reciting it with the melody which is ikhlas. You're not reciting it, you're reciting it for the sake of Allah. And he keeps repeating the same verse with different melody. The same verse again and again. What is this here? What is this? And all of these people listening to you, most of them are on hashisha. Got a hookah pipe and listen to you. What is this? What is the humiliation? This is the humiliation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's kalam. Wallahi. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يخلصنا من الشرك ما ظهر منه وما بطن، وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.